For the past 3 years, I began to get really, really sick, and I was seeing 15 different doctors and specialists. I was going to the ER constantly. I had a list of 30 plus symptoms. Hi, I'm Alejandra Mercado. I am 28 years old, and I am now about 10 months post-op. I just want to give a quick little share on my story. It was determined that I had 3 autoimmune diseases. They began testing me for lupus, POTS-like symptoms, and just an incredibly long list, and I thought I was dying. It wasn't until someone asked me one day if I had had implants, and I had gotten them about 4 years ago now. You know, to me, it was like, I do have them, but they're so new. I've read about BII, I didn't really believe in it. And I had thought that was only for people who had silicone, and I had saline. I was just pretty in denial, and I didn't want to get rid of them. Finally started connecting the dots and doing research, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have literally every symptom that is on this list you can imagine. It was really scary. So that is when I contacted Dr. Whitfield. We set up an appointment. We ran lots of blood tests, which was one of the reasons I loved Dr. Whitfield so much, is because I felt like he was willing to actually listen to my concerns and actually look for what was wrong, you know, not just say, it's just something you're born with and you're going to feel like you're dying. There's nothing we can do. You know, that's what all my other doctors and specialists were telling me. And so we got my blood work and saw all the things I needed to assess and work on and address. That made a big difference. But once we did the Explant is when I started to see so much of a difference. Like 70% of my symptoms went away, and the rest of the symptoms are now very minimal, or they come in flare-ups still, but it is not as bad as last year. I started going back to my specialist for blood work. All my blood work is normalizing. My inflammation markers have gone down immensely. My thyroid leveled out for the first time in 2 years, which was one of the really hard ones for me, because your thyroid affects everything. You just feel so sick when it's off. I just started to see such a difference in my body and in my life when I explanted. It is something that I will advocate for now, and I don't mind telling my friends and family because it made such a big difference in my life. And I think a lot of women don't always think about that. You know, we do these things for whatever reasons. For me, I think it was just for vanity, but it did affect my health so much, and I didn't want to accept it. But when I took them out, it made such a difference in my life. I think for me, the most important reason I wanted to do this was because I have children and my family. This time last year, I was so sick. I lost 95 pounds. I couldn't pick up my own babies, and it hurt my heart so much just because I just was bedridden for months, and we couldn't figure out what was happening. When I made this change, my health improved pretty fast, actually. I've heard it could take years, and it was within months I saw huge, immense changes. I can pick up both my kids now at the same time, which is a big deal for me. I don't feel like I'm dying every single day. And you know, everyone's so different. I'm not sure everyone experiences symptoms like this or to this extent. But for me, I know I don't feel like that anymore. And it makes such a big difference in my life and my family's life as well. You know, I'm not in the hospital every week now. I'm not seeing specialists every single week now. My blood work has improved so much that, you know, it's a win every single time that I go to the doctors now, and I can see the improvements my body is making. I do encourage women in my life now, if you have them, just do your research, track how you're feeling, because I have a lot of women I love and they just don't feel well. They have implants, but they're like me or many others at the time, just don't want to accept that that could be a possibility, you know, because seeing your body can change, it can hurt, but your health is more important to me. And so I would love to share my message to anybody, and if anyone ever has questions, I would love to talk about it. I have videos that I can share, and you can see more of my symptoms and how bad they were. Thank you for listening.